Hello, 3Cs. This is Mr. Henderson here. Miss Caldwell is doing such a fantastic job that I decided to give her the day off, and we're going to take care of the last few lessons together. The next branch of our mathematical journey is what we call statistics. Hopefully, you've heard that term before. If not, basically what statistics are, you see them in the news and the media. They're a numerical representation of real life events, and just basically meant to summarize what's going on in the world. They're used in politics, they're used in sports, and they're used in medicine, especially in what we call epidemiology. So when you read the news about what's going on currently, you're probably reading a lot of statistics, and basically they're just a numerical representation of what's going on in the world. So understanding them is really important. So we're going to talk about some calculations. We're going to talk about how to tell statistics are reliable in the media. But before we do that, let's start with the calculations. So today we're going to talk about something called measures of central tendency. So basically what it is, it's how things look in the middle. So if we have a big set of data, if we are talking about a study of 50 people, we want to look at what happens kind of in the middle case, how that looks. So it's how things look in the middle. And when we talk about measures of central tendency, we have three big ones that we normally use, and you've probably heard of them before: mean, median, and mode. Let's talk about them, and let's do a quick review and make sure that we're all good. So the mean is our arithmetic average. So basically, all we're going to do is we're going to add up the numbers, and we're going to divide by the number of numbers. So in the example, we have 12, 10, 13, 16, 24, 15. There's 6 of them, so we're going to add them up and divide by 6. So the way that looks, the mean is going to be equal to 12 plus 10 plus 13 plus 16 plus 24 plus 15, all divided by 6. And when we punch that into the calculator, we add up the numbers up top. That's going to be 90 over 6. So punch 90 divided by 6 with your calculator, and you should get 15. So for this set of data, our average is going to be 15. For the median, not very difficult at all. As long as you can sort numbers into numerical order, then you're set. All we do is we just take those numbers, we rearrange them so that they're in order, and we're going to look right in the middle and see what's there. So in this case, 10 is the lowest, followed by 12, followed by 13, followed by 15, followed by 16, followed by 24. So in this case, take a look. Ooh. So the trouble is the middle is right in between two numbers. If it was just a single number, then that would be our median. Let's say if there was another number there, if there was a 7th number that was, let's say if we had a 14 there, that would be our median. But in this case, we don't. So we have to take the average of the two middle numbers. So that's going to be 13 plus 15 divided by 2, which is going to be 28 divided by 2, or 14. And lastly, the mode is just the most popular number, the most frequent number, the one that shows up the most often. So let's take that and let's apply it to a problem. So now we have a slightly bigger set of data. Let's see what we can do with this. So a good starting place would be to rearrange all these numbers. So let's start by putting them in order. Let's see, how many 5s do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 5s. So 5, 5, 5. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6s. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 7s. See, then we have just one 8. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 9s. Then we have 1, 2, 3 10s. And then we have just one 11. So let's do the mean, the median, and the mode, and let's see how they compare. So for the mean, you're going to punch all this into your calculator, and you can do it if you don't believe me. In fact, you should get a little bit of practice before you start your practice questions. But if you don't believe me, it is 158. And then we're going to divide it by the number of numbers. So count them up. You should count 21 separate numbers in our list. And so we take 158, divide by 21 on your calculator, and you get 7.5. Next step, the median. We're just going to look at this and we're going to find the middle number. So take your left finger, your right finger, and start counting from both ends and work your way into the middle. And you should find that it is this one here. That's the exact middle number. So that is your median. And again, if it was two middle numbers, then you take the average. You just add them up and divide by 2. But since it's one single middle number, you're going to just use that as your median. And lastly, the mode is just the most popular one. So in this case, 6 shows up the most often. That's 5 times, so that's going to be our mode. So now we have a mean of 7.5, a median of 7, and a mode of 6. So you notice how they're all kind of close to each other. So they're all an okay representation of our data set, but you notice how you're going to notice that as you look at other data sets that sometimes one measure of central tendency is going to be more reliable than others, which is why we have a few of them, because sometimes one is going to give us a better representation than others. So last thing we're going to talk about really quickly. Sometimes we have a data set, and hopefully you've done tally charts before, but just to make sure, we're going to do one together. Let's say normally I would collect people's shoe sizes in class, and we'd compile all the data. But let's pretend like we did, and let's say we had one person in class that said they had a size 6. We're going to get 1 tick there. For size 8, let's say we got 2. For 9, for size 9, we got 4 people. For size 10, we got 3 people. For 11, we got 4 people. For 12, we got 2 people. And let's say for 13, we got 5 people. And we're going to show that with a horizontal line for the 5th, just in case you haven't seen that before. And lastly, when we say frequency, we mean as a number, how many are there? So for 5, we don't have any, so that's a frequency of 0. For 6, it's 1, 0, 2, 4, 3, 4, 2, and 5. That's essentially it. So the big things, make sure you know how to do mean, median, and mode, and make sure that you're okay doing a tally chart and that you know what frequency is. Frequency is how often something appears. So that's pretty much it. Make sure you try some of those practice questions, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Thanks, guys.